Welcome back and many thanks for choosing to stay with us. Now I'm joined in studio right here by two gentlemen. I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves just before we continue with this particular discussion. Yes, Jonah, let's begin with you.
Thank you for the good time that you've provided to us. My name is Jonah Onyango, or Jonathan Onyango.
Yes.
I'm a leader in this city, in this country. I'm from Bunge la Mwananchi, that is one.
Okay.
And I also serve at an organization called Youth Service for Peace. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us here today. My name's Orlando Simba. I'm the country convener of the Pan-African Congress. That is a Pan-African movement that has a mandate within the country. Yes.
So let me start with Jonah. What happens at Bunge la Mwananchi?
Thank you. Bunge la Mwananchi is an organization, is a Morphous organization.
Yes.
That mostly deal with the issues that are affecting the people of Kenya. They represent the views, or they take the views of Mwananchi in this country. And it's a movement that is all over the country. And I'm there in a capacity of the CS, as a CS for devolution. So even...
So Bunge la Mwananchi actually has CSS inside?
Yes, yes. It has a structure, a complete structure. From CSS, we have a women rep, we have the president.
So it's not for the youth?
No, it's not for the youth.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the youth sector within Bunge la Mwananchi.
Right.
Yes.
Now, to our discussion tonight, you would like to discuss about the BBI. Do you feel that the youth have really been included in this particular report?
Thank you. You know, the issue of BBI with the youth is a serious issue that we'll be discussing, and we are still discussing, because the representation in BBI as a project or as a subject is not there for youth, and is a serious issue that are really affecting young people in terms of discussion. Because you remember very well that we've done not less than 7 or 8 rallies when we are doing rallies, and the good time has not been given to youth to speak their mind. And again...
so do you feel it's only in the forums that they have not been given a chance to speak?
Yeah, both sides, both in the forum, and even when we are talking about giving or taking, when they're doing the validation. I personally attended with the Youth for BBI, the validation program, which was being done in Laiko Hotel. And I can tell you for free that young people are never taken serious, even in time allocation.
What exactly happened there?
When we were doing the presentation, young people were given around 1 hour. And most of the part, they were told that, okay, you cannot present everything. What you do as young people, go back and do it on paper. Then you can present the document. So it will be looked into, you know.
So at that particular point, you guys didn't talk?
No, we didn't talk. We didn't talk.
Okay.
We were given minimal time to talk, which was not enough. And you remember very well, even the consensus, the just ended consensus, young people are 75% population of this country. So we need enough time so that young people can express themselves in the issues that are affecting them. Yeah, when you talk about the 9 points, it's only affect 95% on those 9 points affect young people, the youth of this country. So we need enough time to speak our mind and issues that are affecting us without this corner issues and propaganda.
Let me get to Orlando. What are some of the issues that you feel that should be addressed in the BBI report?
First of all, before we delve deep on the issues that we might need as young people to be addressed in the BBI issue that's going on right now, we must first of all look at the roles of young people in this formation. First of all, I do think that young people in this country are quite scattered. That is why maybe sometimes when we are invited, like what Jonah is saying to Laiko, I can remember Adam saying that there were more than 120 reports presented by young people So if we have 120 reports, it can take quite some time for us to be able to present all these reports and maybe for them to be able to scrutinize. So sometimes we miss our chances because of our own disorganization. But then again, I think also that for us to be able, if you look at the rallies that are going on with regards to BBI,
Yes.
I don't think there's a young person, even anybody who is young there, that represents the ideas of young people. Young people are not on the table. We are down there just collecting crumbs.
But Orlando, many times we've talked about young people not being on the table.
Yes.
What is the way forward? What can we really do so that we be on that particular table?
Okay, what I really think right now, the best thing is, first of all, we need to filter what does the BBI stands for, first of all. Because according to how it's presented right now, it's turning out to be more divisive than inclusive.
Yes.
And the reason why it's becoming more divisive is because it's like a political filtering for 2022, so that we can have maybe a people on one side and the other people on the other side. The issues that have been affecting us in this country, some of them, we have had commissions that have presented reports about the issues that are affecting us. For example, we have the TJRC report, we had the Waki report, we had the Kriegler report. All this, even the Ndungu report about land. So if these reports could be implemented, I don't think we'd need something in the angle of a BBI. I'm not saying the BBI is bad, but I'm saying that maybe we could have taken a different approach whereby the commissioners, the Haji Commission, we could have sat down with a few, without making it be a rally kind of engagement, and then we could have discussed it, and then we present the
So in your
reports to
opinion, it
Parliament.
couldn't have been held like a rally?
Yeah. I think it should be, it could have been held in a different way, because the rally is causing more animosity among the people. And maybe in the end of it, we might have a deeply divided country than maybe what we have now.
Right, now, youth starting micro and medium-sized enterprises will be granted a tax holiday alongside other incentives to expand their business opportunities. Now, back to you, Jonah. Do you think the youth are enterprising enough to indulge in entrepreneurship?
Thank you. I think anything to do with something like the enterprise or youth being given opportunity that they can do their businesses. One thing that we must agree in is that the environment, the enabling environment is not safe for youth. That is one thing that even if today you give a youth 100,000, 200,000, the last thing you can do from that place after getting that money, you will just go done some good.
So, Jonah, you want to tell me that there is no youth who is doing any business anywhere? If given money, they use it to dance and drink themselves silly?
I can tell you for free, and this is a fact. We need not to lie and just go around. That in the percentage that we are talking about, the 75%, I can tell you that it's less than 1% that can use the money in terms of business given by the government the way it should be.
So why do you think now, whose problem is it? Is it the youth's problem or the government's problem?
Two things. I want to agree with Simba that one, the structures among the youth. One, youths are divided and we are not a unit.
Yes.
That is one, which cause a lot of problems among the youth. Because when you see like women has a platform, has a unit that can speak as women. And it will be hard. When you talk about the church has a platform and a unit, NCCK. The youth doesn't have. They're hanging
So
somewhere.
who created for women the platform?
It's women themselves.
Yes, so why can't youth create a platform for
Let me
them?
tell you, this is a serious problem from the government. I can tell you for free that the government doesn't want youth to have a unit.
Do you
I have facts on
just
that.
hold your mic a bit?
Yes, because the moment that youth will have that unit or a platform, the youth government is so scary that youth will
What
take.
makes you think that the government is scary?
I know for a fact. That is why even in these rallies, they will never give youth a chance to speak and give their opinion. Why? Because we will point out the issues, the real issues that ailing. When issues of politics comes, the people that these politicians use to cause chaos and to destroy everything are not women, are not old wazes, but are youth. So the moment that you engage youth and you give them time and opportunity or focus, you will never get them to distract
During the BBI, the Meru chapter,
Yes.
we witnessed Honorable Kuria being followed by some group of people as he was exiting just before the meeting ended. These were the young people.
They were young people, and I can tell you for free. I'm telling you, the 94.
So don't you think the youth are the ones allowing themselves to be misused by the politicians?
Because youth are not empowered. If youth are empowered, it's only in Kenya that a politician can call a rally on a Monday and the venue will be full.
So you're saying the youth are not empowered?
They are not.
We're talking about them being given some funds to start businesses. You are saying they will not be able to do so.
Why? I agree with you.
What's
But the
the way
first thing,
forward?
the
You are a
first
youth
thing,
leader.
the first
Yeah.
thing, the first thing is about mentorship. The concept or the mindset that the youth has as we speak, that has been eroded the minds.
So it's the minds of the
It's
youth.
the minds of the youth.
Thank you. Do you have any contribution regarding the same?
Yes, exactly. There's a misconception
Yes.
that is out here that maybe every young man is a businessman. We have different kind of things that young people are engaged in. Some young people are in sports. Some are in other different form of arts. So and then we have government policies with regards to this. We have government policies with regards to sports, with regards to arts, and all these other things. So I think it would be prudent if maybe the government can put much emphasis in terms of implementing the policies that are in place, because you will have maybe a section of young people who are in business being empowered, and then we have a huge section of young people who remain disempowered. So I think we need to reform the whole concept of youth empowerment and maybe find a way in which we can include all young people into this. Another thing is that most of our young people are not mentored enough in terms of even spending the little money that they might be given. We need, first of all, to take our young people through proper financial management mentorship. And we also need to take them through business management so that by the time they have received the money, they can understand how to use it and how they can empower fellow young people with regards to these funds. But I would like to insist that we would like to have maybe a new forum just about young people, maybe to find out what's the best way of getting us out of the situation where we are. It's quite shocking that as we are speaking right now, a huge percentage of young people are in the informal kind of employment. And it's very difficult. They are heavily taxed.
Yes.
And then they don't get the amenities that are needed for them to be able to grow. So I think what is needed right now is how can we get out of this mess? Can we sit down with the responsible people so that we can find ways of getting ourselves out of this?
All right. Yeah. Now, about creating positions, you can hand you on the mic. Creating position. Do you agree with it? The PM position, the presidents and the deputy president position that are listed in the BBI report. Do you agree with the creation of those particular positions?
You know, there's something that is going around, and the rumor always, at times when said or repeatedly said, it becomes truth. If you ask me today, I will never advocate for the positions. That is one. Why? Because it's something that comes to burden the common mwananchi, the youth being involved. So the positions that we have is enough. It's only that what we are lacking in this country is just to get a leader that has values and respect the rule of law. That is it. So when you are talking about creating positions, there is a rumor that is going around because people have not, mostly young people, has never read the BBI report because it is not there. They talked about it when they launched the BBI. The president and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga said that this document should be owned by the people of Kenya. And from that time, the issues that have been coming around is that people should go and download it. You know, this is a country whereby I can say 3/4 of young people cannot access the internet. It's not there. So where are they going to download this.
So instead you feel that they should look at better gender instead of looking at creating the position.
Correct, because people are saying about, when you talk about, you meet with young people, you ask them what is BBI. Some youth told me that the meaning
But
of
do you
BBI,
think the youth have really read that particular report?
They've not, I'm telling you. It's a
Have
smaller
you read
percentage. Yeah, but that smaller percentage, you know, you're trying to explain to them what the BBI means. You ask them a simple question, what is BBI? Someone telling you that BBI, the meaning of BBI is Building Bosses Initiative.
So what can you do today to make them understand this particular initiative?
Is when we are given, if we given a chance as young people, we interact. We know how to interact with these young people. And you cannot tell me that you go to a rally, then you give Governor Ngilo a chance to speak on behalf of young people. You know, it's not next to possible. So why can't we engage young people and give them sana from Mashinani? You know, go to Mashinani, give those leaders. We have leaders, youth leaders from Mashinani, and they need to speak, and they're not given that chance.
Yes.
So that's where the problem comes, because most of the time, and these young people that we give time and chance to speak are the elite youths, whereby they can meet in the high-end hotels and speak on behalf of youth. But they speak on behalf of youth, but not speaking the voice of these people, those young people from Mashinani.
A few youth that are actually on the leadership position, we find them being aligned to some political parties. Don't you think their voices will be in line with their boss's agenda instead of giving out the ideas of the youth?
Yeah, I'll delve a little bit on your previous question that you
just as we
what you
finish up.
just said. Yes, you see, the problem that we're having as a country is our politics has been ethnicized, and if our politics has been ethnicized, now it has reached a point whereby there is need for the system maybe to please each and every ethnic community. That's why at the top now we need to have a prime minister from this ethnic community, a deputy prime minister from this ethnic community, and all those things. But I think it is a problem that was initiated in this country in the year 2002, and it has been there up to now. So I don't think there is need for these positions. I wish we could just remain with the position of the president and the deputy president, and then now we just make...
So you're against the positions creation?
Yes, against the prime minister, deputies, and all these things. Because all these positions, the 5, 6, 7 positions that are going to be created, are going to entrench the politics of tribalism and ethnicity in our country, which is not the right path for us to go.
So as we wind up, many have argued that the youth who are in particular position and in leadership positions, they tend to misbehave, allow me to say that. Look at the case where, for example, Babu Wino's case is still ongoing, and you know what happened, you know the narrative. Do you think they are in the right position to say that the youth misbehave in given positions?
You see, the young people who are in politics currently are not their own. Most of them, I'll use the term handcuffs.
Just as we finish up.
Most of them are handcuffs. You find that the likes of Babu Wino, that is Raila, the Jaguars, that is Uhuru, Muhammad Ali is on Ruto, and all these things. As at now, we do not have any individual young person who can speak his mind and who can stand on his own.
So where are they? Where are the right people to speak for the...
So the kind of politics that we have, that's the reason why we have such kind of young people in politics. So what we need to do, we need to sit back and reassess ourselves.
Okay,
do we need this moving forward? Or should we just maybe have a system whereby we can elect leaders according to what they stand for, not according to who they support or where their inclination is. If we can have young people coming for elective positions, and then we elect them according to what they stand for and what they could do, I think we can have a better country.
Many thanks. Jonah, your final word just as we close.
Thank you. I think I want to agree with him that the moment that young people in this country will stand alone as a unit, and we say that Simba, we have seen whatever that you are doing to us, and we want to make sure that you become an MP of Kasarani constituency, with or without Raila, without Uhuru, and as a party, youth party. That is the time that he will stand and speak the mind of the youth. That is what we are lacking, and we need to evaluate ourselves, reassess ourselves as young people. We sit down and look where the rain start beating us. That is the time that we will get something to revamp ourselves as young people in this country.
All right.
That is the time.
Many thanks, gentlemen, for joining us tonight. We appreciate your company. All right, those are youth leaders, Jonah Onyango, together with Orlando Simba, discussing a matter that has really caused different reactions among Kenyans. We're taking a very short break. Sports news is coming up next.